I am taking Colorado. It has absolutely nothing to do with who you're taking. I just believe that a lesson that I learned from week one, and we'll see if that's too small of a sample size to take this lesson away, but projecting a team to be improved because you believe in what they've done behind the scenes as a coaching staff is probably a little presumptuous. All we know about Nebraska is what they did last week, which didn't look very good against South Alabama. Now, granted, I wasn't overly impressed with Colorado defensively against Colorado State. But offensively, I think is the one area where we can trust Colorado. You can trust Steven Montez. You can trust Laviska Shenault. You can trust the running back Fontenot. You can trust Katie Dixon. Like, they have playmakers at the skill positions. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I just think home team, Colorado, everyone's counting them out because of the Nebraska train. I'm going to go Colorado. I think this could be close. Cincinnati, I really think, is a top 25 caliber team. I think that they dominated UCLA last week, but there's just too much talent on the Ohio State side, so I'm going to pick Ohio State. I do think Connor has something on that in terms of, the physicality of that game against Georgia. I do think Vanderbilt's equipped to beat Purdue because it's really the trenches where Vanderbilt is a little bit struggles. They're better on the skill spots. But this is the Tyler Trent game. There's going to be an emotionally charged atmosphere at Purdue. I think the number's too big, 7. I would take Vanderbilt to cover the spread, but I think Purdue figures out a way to win. Yeah, once again, I am trusting what I know.
Right.
And what I know here is that BYU is a pretty good football team. I don't know if Tennessee's a pretty good football team. In fact, all I've learned is that they're probably not a pretty good football team. They couldn't handle Dan Ellington. Zach Wilson is no drop-off from there as far as a mobile quarterback with athleticism. Yes, Tennessee could absolutely win this game. I could see it happening, but I'm going to make them prove me wrong here. I'm just going with the team that looks better, BYU. Yeah, the bye week helps. They're going to have a lot of time to prepare. I think that defensive line is going to create some issues that maybe South Carolina didn't with Sam Howell, the true freshman quarterback. And I still think there's going to be, we went pretty much without the true freshman mistake at quarterback. That might pop up this week. I like Miami, though this feels like a game North Carolina could win again and surprise some people. But my pick is Miami. My issue with USC is less about the quarterback, more about the line of scrimmage. One thing I feel very certain about with these two teams is that Stanford is tougher and more physical, even without Walker Little. And I know their offensive line wasn't overly physical last year, but I just think the culture is better to win a close game that probably is a little more low-scoring than it would have been a couple weeks ago. I'm picking Stanford because I think they're better. It's a great test. I think we're going to find out if Washington is a playoff contender in this game. I don't even think it has to be a blowout, but I think that the offense has to look good, and if they look good against that secondary, that means a lot. No confidence in Cal's offense. That's a horrible offense. They won't be able to score enough, so Washington wins. Michigan wins. Michigan wins big.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, Army almost beat Oklahoma last year. That's because Oklahoma can't stop the run. And so Oklahoma gave up these 10-minute drives. They scored every time they had the ball, but Army just didn't give them the ball very much. This is a Michigan team that can stop the run. This is a Michigan defensive staff that's been preparing for this game all summer. I think Michigan wins and wins big.
Texas is going to win. This is what Tom Herman does. Texas wins.
This is how we got into the bet in the first place.
It's Barton's turn to pick.
This is an emotional response, okay? I'm going to speak not from emotion, but from logic. The logic tells me that when you're more athletic and when you're more talented, you're going to win the game. And I think that the line has crept up a little bit too high. I think that it could be a 4-point, 3-point game, a close game. I think it's going to be a game that Sam Ehlinger controls for much of it with his run. But look, they do have limited options at the running back position. They are young and inexperienced on defense. LSU does look like they have gotten to a point where they can absolutely flex and use the strength of their roster, which is talent at the skill positions everywhere. I think LSU is that good that they should be a national title contender. They show it by beating Texas. I'm shocked that the line is this big. Well, I guess I'm shocked that the line. Yeah, I'm shocked the line is this big. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Texas A&M is They know how heavy the weight is in this game. They felt it on their back. They've competed with Clemson before. They're a better team this year than they were last year. Kellen Mond's better. The defensive line is better. But I think Clemson still wins this game. It's a one-possession game late.
Whoa.